what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
I'm broken system, broken trust, and I approve this message.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Bear with me today. I'm a bit sick, and I didn't want to make a video today, so here we are. All right, move that up. Let's do that. That's fine. We'll do that. All right. So this is going to be a sovereign citizen in court in Colorado, I believe they said, which I don't think I've ever covered a court case that happened to be in Colorado. So this is a new one for me. Love the background music. Yeah. We got some Skyrim in the background. It's your birthday? Well, happy freaking birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Hopefully you're going to have a much better day than I am. I've been sick all day. But yeah, this guy's going to get absolutely put in his place. And I'm only saying that because we've been dealing with broken system, broken trust so much. This judge is actually going to hold this sovereign citizen in contempt for arguing in bad faith. Arguing in bad faith and then skipping out on the day of the jury trial. Who does that sound like? So we're going to watch this. We're going to giggle a little bit. I think it's 18 minutes. And then once we're done with this stream, I'm going to say go subscribe to my third channel. And then you're not going to see me until tomorrow. So let's get this over with.
Told me I had no jurisdiction, left the courtroom, and then amazingly was able to leave the building.
I can't stand. I'm shackled like a criminal over a traffic citation.
No, you're not here on a traffic citation. You're here on contempt. Are
we having a contempt hearing, Your Honor?
Well, I'm going to give you that opportunity. I'm going to advise you if you'd like it. Let me start by reading the relevant portions of the contempt rule, Mr. Forenza. This is Rule 407. This is of the rules of civil procedure, but that same rule applies to criminal actions such as this one. I'll read the relevant sections. Subsection A1, disorderly or disruptive behavior, a breach of the peace, boisterous conduct, or violent disturbance toward the court, or conduct that unreasonably interrupts the due course of judicial proceedings, behavior that obstructs the administration of justice, disobedience or resistance by any person to or interference with any lawful writ, process, or order of the court, or any other act or omission designated as contempt by the statutes of these rules. This will be direct contempt, and I will cover that in a second, but the rule is contempt that direct contempt is contempt that the court has seen or heard and is so extreme that no warning is necessary, or that has been repeated despite the court's warning to desist. Subsection 4 defines punitive sanctions for contempt, which includes punishment by an unconditional fine, fixed sentence of imprisonment, or both, for a conduct that is found to be offensive to the authority and dignity of the court.
So he brought it up earlier. This was originally a traffic ticket. A traffic ticket for going like 30 over, which, if you've watched a bunch of my videos from, I think, last month, I covered like 3, 4, 5 sovereign citizens or sovereign citizen adjacent, soft sits, if you will, who were going like double the speed limit. And then we're like, yeah, I'm not going to ID. And they just immediately got arrested. This guy was going like 30 over, like I said. They'll talk about it way at the end of the video. And he made that into him going to jail. Because he's stupid. He can't just say, yep, you got me, and deal with it. No, he just decided to leave court. Like, that's never going to fly. This is going to be kind of a grind for the first little bit until they start talking about the case. So, sorry, it's going to be a lot of, like, actual law shit.
Most notably is subsection B, as in boy, which says addresses direct contempt proceedings. When a direct contempt is committed, it may be punished summarily. In such case, an order shall be made on the record in writing reciting the facts constituting that contempt, including a description of the person's conduct, a finding that the conduct was so extreme as that no warning was necessary, or the person's conduct was repeated after the court's warning to desist, and a finding that the conduct is offensive to the authority and dignity of the court. Prior to the imposition of sanctions, the person shall have the right to make a statement in mitigation. Mr. Forenza, I'm going to offer you that opportunity in a little bit. I make a specific finding that all conduct that I'm referencing occurred in my presence and therefore is direct contempt. Very specifically, let me make some reference. Mr. Forenza has been disrespectful to the court, to opposing counsel, and even to my clerks throughout the proceeding. He's filed spurious documents. He's made nonsensical arguments. He's been arguing.
Remember that part. Filing nonsensical documents. I think he used the word spurious. He's filing just bullshit documents, arguing in bad faith. That sounds like every sovereign citizen that I've ever covered on YouTube. BSBT doesn't really file paperwork because I'm not even sure if he can read, but he just constantly brings bad faith arguments. The court is going to let you get away with almost everything as long as they think you're operating in good faith. And they never seem to argue in good faith. If you're going to challenge jurisdiction 147 times, even though it was already covered the first time you asked it, that's arguing in bad faith. If you're going to bring up a Supreme Court case, shout out to Eric Martin on this one. If you're going to present a packet, if you will, from your guru of a bunch of Supreme Court decisions, and then come to find out none of them have to do with the case and some of them don't exist at all, that's arguing in bad faith. Contempt for all of them.
Argumentative with the court, but I was willing to let all of that go so we could try the matter. On the day of trial, which I believe was November 24th, Mr. Forenza appeared on time, but stayed in the gallery along with who I believe is his wife. I repeatedly, at least 3 times, but perhaps 4 or 5, told him to approach the court, to cross the bar and sit at table so we could address the trial. Mr. Forenza failed to do so in my direct presence. He told me I had no jurisdiction, left the courtroom, and then amazingly was able to leave the building as well. In any event, he is.
I know they cut it weird right there. I just want to point out as well, anyone's significant other that is coming to court with them like this and letting them try this bullshit, knowing full well that it could end them in jail, the fuck are you doing? If I had to go to court and I tried this bullshit, Mrs. KFARR would beat the shit out of me. She would leave me, yada yada. I don't understand how these people have significant others. Either they're also sovereign citizens or they're the lowest IQ human being on planet Earth.
Not returned since November 24th, other than a few pleadings that I'm guessing were filed that day or the day before. I've had no interaction with this case since November 24th. I make a finding that Mr. Forenza was under an order to perform, that is to come to the table. He refused to perform in accordance with that order. And even though he had the ability to perform, obviously he was mobile, he was able to make it into the courtroom and then, of course, make it out. He was repeatedly warned, and I note that. I gave him multiple opportunities to approach, and he disregarded all of them. I make a specific finding that I find Mr. Forenza's conduct to be offensive to the authority and dignity of the court. I make a specific finding that he engaged in misbehavior that rises to the level of obstruction of justice. The behavior happened in my presence. The conduct was intentional and willful, and these actions seriously affronted and disrupted the administration of justice. In that regard, I will note that I went and met with the 30 or so jurors who had appeared for the trial, that Mr. Forenza simply blew off.
Again, this is just a larger, fatter, broken system, broken trust. You wanted to do everything wrong in your hearing, and then you decided to flee the day of the jury trial. I think if you flee the day of the jury trial, that should be an extra charge. Because not only are you wasting the court's time, you're wasting everyday citizens' time, which is just unacceptable to me. I think if you skip out on a jury trial, it should be a nationwide warrant for you, and then you should get waterboarded or something like that, because it's just uncalled for. I couldn't imagine taking time off work to go sit on a jury, only to find out the scumbag that I was going to be on the jury for just decided, nah, I don't care about you or your time. I'll see you 2 years later.
I had to explain why that happened, and I had to waste all of their time. I also wasted the time of the witnesses. Mr. Forenza, I didn't waste anybody. Mr. Forenza also wasted the time not only of the jurors, but of the witnesses, counsel, the court, and everyone else. The court finds him in direct contempt. I made a similar record on the morning of trial, but Mr. Forenza had bolted from the courtroom, and therefore I find he was not advised at that time, so at least not in any significant way. And I hereby advise him. I am considering a jail term for the contempt unrelated to the underlying charges, Mr. Forenza. I'm going to offer you some opportunities of how you want to proceed. First, if you wish, you can make the statement of mitigation right now, if you wish to. I just
want to let you guys know, spoiler alert, he's going to continually just play the victim for the next 15 minutes. Yes, I do remember that. If I remember, I want to say it was in Pennsylvania. Could have been Philadelphia. He drove to his driveway thinking they weren't going to tow it. And she just took her kid and just went in the house. And was just like, we're doing this again. Not thinking about your family or your kid. You want to be part of the sovereign citizen shit. Yes, I remember that. Good times. It's just funny how I would consider everyone in the chat and myself in the game when it comes to sovereign citizens where we know a shit ton about them. But then it's just glorious to see a sovereign citizen run into a regular person. And then the regular person just go, oh, you're a dumb asshole. Okay, I understand what you're about. I love that the rest of the world is finally catching up.
If you wish to consult with counsel, I will give you time to hire your own counsel, but you will remain in custody during the interim. I would even be open to the appointment of counsel if you believe you are indigent. In fact, I would appoint counsel if you were indigent. How would you like to proceed? And if you'd like a few moments to think about that, I'm fine with that.
Is that the only option is how I like to proceed, or can I make a statement?
Right. So I'm offering you option one and options 2 and 2A. Option 2A and 2B. Option 1 is you can make your statement of mitigation right now, right? And without counsel, the only person in the room other than court staff and the deputy is Mr. McCall. We are live streaming. You can make that. If you'd prefer, you can contact an attorney, and I will set this over for a time where you can make the argument through an attorney. Or appoint, that's 2A. And then 2B, if you believe you're indigent, I will appoint counsel.
Could you explain indigent? I'm sorry.
You don't.
Are you broke?
You meet the guidelines. You're in custody, and so I can appoint alternate defense counsel to represent you in the contempt proceeding. If you are indigent, the actual language is in a Supreme Court guidance, which says Colorado. I'll just read it to you. Colorado Rules of Civil Procedure 107 and 407 provide for the appointment of counsel to an indigent person cited for contempt where a jail sentence is contemplated. I am contemplating a jail sentence, Mr. Forenza. If the court appoints private counsel to prosecute a contempt action, which is not applicable here, or to represent an indigent party for contempt charges, that is relevant here, the judicial department will pay for counsel, as there is no statutory authority for the public defender or alternate defense counsel to represent clients for the sole purpose of contempt. But to qualify, you would have to be indigent, which means you would fit below the guidelines for public defender representation. If you wish, I can print those guidelines out for you.
Don't want to be represented.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
I don't want to be represented.
Okay, and you understand that, and I will allow you to make the statement.
And now I know most sovereign citizens are dumber than dog shit, but at the beginning of the hearing, you heard the judge say, I told him 3 or 4 times to step on this side of the bar so that we could actually address this. And it's not for ceremonial purposes, because we've seen other courts, I want to say in Michigan, when, what was it, Chief Firewater, whoever that guy was, the guy who was drinking and boating and then was stumbling on the dock and then got arrested. I would say pulled over, but do you really get pulled over on a boat? They were letting them stay in the gallery, if you will. And that's because their audio could pick them up. Now, this guy's sitting about to eat the fucking microphone like it's an ice cream cone, and you still can't hear him because he's talking softly. That's why you wanted him to on this side of the bar, because you wanted to make a record, and if you wanted to make an actual record, you kind of want to hear the person talking. Sorry for that tangent, but sovereign citizens think this is a whole thing, and it's like, no, the court just needs to make a record, and that record needs to actually hear you, so it's accurate, not just winging it.
Statement of mitigation right now, but you understand you do have a right to counsel.
The only way to look at it is I never got a fair trial walking into this. He failed to prove jurisdiction, sworn affidavit. The courts failed, personal, subject, territorial. I moved it to federal. I even had documents which I sent. It was ignored. Everything gets ignored. I'm just, you know what? I guess I'll just let you beat me up, throw me in jail, get it over with, because you can't keep me the rest of my life. And then
Also, to fucking BSBT so stupid he can't recognize. Oh, wrong one. SovCits couldn't join the military with an ASVAB waiver. You're correct. Even the Marines don't want them. Too many crayons will be eaten if we start bringing in sovereign citizens. Already a short supply. Can't let it happen. No, sovereign citizens always play this card. Well, I submitted this document and tried to move it to federal court. Blah, blah, blah. And you guys never answered me. Okay? If you submit knowingly bullshit documentation, knowingly dog shit affidavits of truth that have nothing to do with factual information, no response is really needed. Like, I hate to say that. I don't know if you guys noticed, a lot of people on YouTube kind of use this strategy the same as the court. If somebody says something so stupid about you, you just don't respond because it's so nonsensical. There's no reason to respond. Same thing with the court. If you put in documents that have no bearing on this case, they're not going to react to you. They're not going to send anything back saying, oh, this is wrong, try again, sport. No, they're just going to say, okay, cool. You've basically submitted nothing of relevance. Moving on.
And, I'll deal with the consequences and things later. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
It's not right over a traffic citation where all I did is I came here in good faith to resolve the matter. And it was just, I could get nothing. There's no nature and cause of there. There's no sworn affidavit for me to even move forward on. This court can't move forward on. That's all I asked for. And it was retaliatory. I just got beat up. That's all it said.
You were going 30 over, which is a reason enough to stop someone. And you can't say I came in to argue in good faith. Then use the law. Talk about what you did. Don't pull something out of a legal dictionary from 1910 that, first off, isn't applicable at all because it's a law dictionary, not the actual law. And second, you can't use it from 1910 if there's an edition that came out in 2024, 2025. And all the editions disagree with you, so why say you're arguing in good faith if you're clearly not? And thankfully, the judge actually sees through this.
It's a traffic citation. It's not a crime. Nobody was injured. If that's if that's what you call justice and fair, I'm not here to sit here and pick at anybody, go after. And that's not what it's about. When I posted bond for whatever it was, I came here and I didn't run. I came here to settle the matter. And that's all I wanted to do. And I just wanted a fair trial. That's it. But you get in my shoes, and how does it feel when you're just getting beat up and the judge you feel is being biased in the case? I mean, what do we?
What else, Mr. Forensic?
Nothing else.
Mr. McCall, I should have asked you this before I moved to me. Is there anything that people want to say on this?
Your Honor, the people spent
Again, spoiler alert. I don't know if this prosecutor's new or if Colorado's not exactly the hotbed of sovereign citizen activity like, what is it? Jersey, Michigan, Ohio, Washington, Nevada at this point, a few in California, but like maybe Colorado's just not that place like everywhere else that's on YouTube. But this prosecutor seems like this is just absolutely new to him, where he's just never had to deal with someone this stupid before. And yeah, again, spoiler alert, but the prosecutor's just like perplexed. He's like, I don't even know what's going on.
Good amount of time preparing for this trial. We actually brought the officer from across the state, met with him on the weekend beforehand to prepare for the trial. Officer Carnes was kindly enough, like I said, to drive on his own accord and his own expense to be here. He said he would come back for a retrial. He would request to be flown back, just given the type of the weather that it would be probably when you're done. The people are still open to a plea agreement in this case for the traffic citation. We understand Mr. Forenza's stance as a sovereign citizen, of what law he feels applies, but Your Honor, we believe that the traffic laws of Colorado apply in this case. We are more than willing to negotiate a plea agreement to this day. But at this point, Your Honor, that's where the people are, Your Honor. We didn't anticipate any jail in this case. We didn't anticipate anything but to paying the penalties for speeding 25 to 39 over on the Riverside Parkway back in 2023. And the failure license. Your Honor, the speeding ticket, I would even reduce it to 20 to 24 over to keep it in it as a traffic infraction.
On the contempt.
On the contempt, Your Honor. Your Honor, it's been an interesting case for me. I've never had a case that have gone this long with kind of like the lack of being able to move forward. I've never been personally federally attempted to be sued in any case based upon a fee schedule.
And this is another thing I wanted to talk about. I literally found this video and watched it like this morning, 5 seconds before I started this scheduled this stream. Yeah, he's showing zero remorse, which is another thing that's frustrating because it's like, you've been had, your script didn't work, get fucked, stay fucked, sovereign citizen. But now he adds on, oh, I'm arguing in good faith, but also trying to sue the prosecutor in federal court for my fee schedule? That doesn't exactly scream, I'm arguing in good faith. It means I'm trying to make threats to you. I'm trying to monetarily and reputationally hurt you because you're holding me accountable. And that's the shit that I hate about sovereign citizens, because he couldn't control himself, because he can't take care of his own business, he can't be a responsible adult. He's trying to hurt the prosecutor, the judge, the prosecutor's kids, the prosecutor's significant other. I don't know how he rolls, so I'm just going to say significant other. He's trying to hurt all these people so that he can continue being an irresponsible human being. Right through jail. Right through jail.
It finds it interesting that Mr. Forenza believes that contract law applies in this case, but only one way, his contract law. The issue here, Your Honor, on contempt, the people expended a lot of time on this case for a very minor case. I do not like putting someone in jail in this situation. I just don't know if Mr. Forenza will ever show up to a trial again in this case, for this case, or any case. He's done, a day or so in jail.
I'm not, anything else you want to say?
No, Your Honor. The people are, that's all the people are going to say.
Mr. Forenza, I meant to ask Mr. McCall to make that statement before your statement. I forgot. If you'd like to make a statement to address anything he said, I'm happy to hear more.
Yes, I mean, I just object. I did, like I said, I came in good faith to settle the matter. And I tried. So it's not like I'm going to skip down to that. That's not what it was. Because if I did that, I would skip down. Now, I didn't do that. I came here to put the court on notice, let them know I was in federal jurisdiction. That's what I did. And I stood my ground for that. I have rights. And it's not about my contract. That's not what it is. And him for saying it's contract, and that makes it a commercial matter. So I'm here to settle the matter. Set off and discharge, and as a secured party creditor, I have a right to do that.
Yeah, so I don't know how much you've heard of this case, or if you've watched it before, but this guy literally, he pulled exactly what almost every sovereign citizen has done, BSBT included, where it's literally a traffic case. It is, I think he was going 30 over, 30 or 35 over, came in, argued in bad faith, dipped out the day of the jury trial, and now they finally got him back in court. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm sorry, you got me, he's still playing the same fuck games.
An attorney, in fact, representing the estate. So I would like to do that. Let's settle the matter. Let's just wash.
I'll give you an opportunity to resolve.
And I want to point out that in many cases, an attorney, in fact, is in fact not an attorney. I went over that in my short for today. Matter of fact, it doesn't have to be an attorney. It can be some guy named Steve. So the fact that they're trying to say, I'm an attorney, in fact, you're in fact not an attorney. You have the power of attorney, which doesn't make you an attorney.
The matter, but we're talking about the contempt right now. I view the contempt as your direct and unequivocal disregard of the court's order. What would you like to say in mitigation of that?
Your Honor, it's not. Like I said before, it has nothing to do with that. I wanted to settle the matter, and I feel like I'm running in circles, nowhere to turn, but who do I have to turn to? I'm trying to get this resolved, coming into court and hoping in good faith that you do the right thing, and it just didn't seem like it was going that way. I've never gotten any response to anything I've ever submitted, and that's what makes it hard. So how do you react to that? I mean, what do you do? Me, my situation, I'm scared. Okay, well, I haven't, torture cuffs and sitting here over a traffic citation.
Somebody's been watching fucking delete laws. They're torture cuffs. Do you know how you could... Maybe it's just me watching these videos so often that I'm just getting pissed off super easy. You know how you could have easily avoided this situation? You could have easily avoided being in torture cuffs if you just dealt with your ticket like a grown-up. It's that easy. If you took care of your speeding ticket like a grown-up, shit, they probably would have knocked it down, pled guilty, pay a little money, and you'd have been good to go. But now, because you wanted to play games like you're a toddler, you're in your torture cuffs and you're going to do some time in jail. Yeah, if a lawyer offered these arguments, the court would hold them in contempt. I've pointed that out multiple times. I know you're a regular over on Colin's page. He's probably pointed it out as well. When sovereign citizens are like, well, I can't have this attorney because he's not putting forth the arguments that I want to. And it's like, well, yeah, because he can't, because your arguments are nonsensical and will get him in trouble if he brings that bullshit to court. They're just so stupid at this point.
Missed my daughter's birthday yesterday.
Anything else, Mr.
No.
Prince? Okay. Court finds the underlying offense can be resolved. As Mr. McCall points out, these cases are frequently resolved on the first appearance for a fine and be done. I find that Mr. Forensic, I don't know about negotiations. That's not my area not my area. But I find he has not litigated this in good faith. I find that he absolutely and unequivocally disregarded a repeated order of the court to come to the table on the morning of his trial. The remedy Mr. Forenza had would be to have the people try to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. He absolutely positively refused the court's order, despite repeated statements. It follows up a long history of disrespect from Mr. Forenza towards the court, and more specifically.
I want to point this out. He reproduced, holy shit. Some people, they age poorly. Some people age like cheese. Some people are out of the game at 25. Like, again, Georgia Transparency, from what I'm hearing, he was in the army or something like that. So at some point, he couldn't have possibly been that fat. BSBT, at some point in the past, that motherfucker had all of his teeth. At some point in the past, Chris Ryder wasn't a waddling fat piece of shit wearing shirts 5 sizes too small. So these people, hey, he could have reproduced many, many, many years ago and then ate his feelings. So Glenn Serio has a kid. That was shocking to me. I assume Glenn Serio didn't always weigh 500 pounds, but who knows?
Specifically, the entire judicial system. I find there to be no good faith by Mr. Forenza. I am not addressing the underlying case. I do note that there's a new speedy trial date in that case. That new speedy trial date is July 8th, 2026. I thought about rescheduling the trial today, but I'm not going to do that. I'll do that at Mr. Ferenza's next appearance. As to the contempt itself, and this is only as to the contempt, I note the difficulty. My plan was coming in to give 30 days jail, given Mr. Ferenza's statement of indicating of the difficulty this has caused him. I'll reduce that a little bit, but not much. This case, I hereby sentence Mr. For direct contempt. I sentence Mr. Ferenza to 25 days in jail. Furthermore, I set this matter for hearing on my next in custody docket I'll put him, though it's going to be a busy day, it doesn't make a lot of difference. Today's the 8th. Yeah, I want to set him in the next round. I'll set him on the Friday, January 23rd, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Your Honor.
Okay, I just want to point out, Ed, I have been wearing hats my entire life. Ever since coach pitch baseball when I was like 6, I've been wearing hats. And then when I moved to football, it was a helmet. And then when I got done with football, I was in the military and wearing hats, or wearing covers, if you will. And then once I got so used to that, I just started always wearing hats. And unlike some people, let me take it down. Some people are like, KFARR's bald. KFARR has like a stupid amount of hair. I just enjoy wearing hats still. Yeah. What I've learned is that some men and some women really know how to pick them when it comes to reproducing. Like they have an option, they have a spread of people that they could reproduce with, and for some people, they're just like, I'm going to go with the bottom of the barrel. That's the one that's going to knock me up. It's wild.
We'll set trial at that time.
Obligations and things I have to take care of. Can I post bail? I will be here.
So noted. I've sent you on the contempt, Mr. Ferenza. The next issue will be when I see you next time on the 23rd, right, is whether I should release you in custody on bond after the contempt sentence is over. There is a presumption that that you get a personal recognizance bond on a case like this for the underlying case, but that is overcome. And let me read you the language, because this is what you will have to address. I would recommend that you consider counsel. I have recommended that before. You have disregarded me.
Get a lawyer because you're not good at this.
And that is in so many other things. The specific provision that is of concern to me, again, there's a presumptive personal recognizance bond. The arrested person has no ties to the jurisdiction of the court, reasonably sufficient to assure his or her appearance, and there's a substantial likelihood that he or she will fail to appear for trial if released upon his own personal recognizance. I will address the bond issue if you wish. The people are on notice that I'm open to bond, but Mr. Ferenza will not be released until the 25 days.
I feel like this is just retaliation more. And this is what I was afraid of at trial, Your Honor.
It's contempt, Mr.
What I was afraid of. But I wasn't in contempt. I showed in good faith.
Okay.
I didn't disrespect it.
Again, I went over this at the beginning of the video. You can't say you're arguing in good faith if you've tried to bring a federal lawsuit against the prosecutor for your fee schedule, if you've, tried to put forth motions that were bullshit, yada, yada. That's not arguing in good faith. If you argue jurisdiction and then the court proves jurisdiction and then you try to keep arguing jurisdiction, that's not in good faith. And I believe, let me see here. So we might not be able to bond out. So the way bond works in my head is if you are a flight risk, and I don't mean by leaving the country, I mean just fleeing and never coming back, fleeing the state, yada, yada. I think that means the court should be able to keep you in jail until your case is over. Especially if you, again, this guy, BSBT, if you jump out of the court case the day of the jury trial and don't come back, if they find you, they should be able to keep you in jail until the end of the trial because you already have shown that you're not going to show up for this. So this guy trying to argue, oh, I'll pay bond and show up. Well, you already left the day of the jury trial and haven't shown up until now. So, like, what are we doing? Like, you can stay in jail. You can get a cell all by yourself.
I spoke the bare minimum just about jurisdiction. So everything you're saying is that's, your assumption. That didn't happen. I didn't.
Have a good day, Mr. Forensic.
I have obligations.
Okay, you'll be able to address them upon release. Thank you.
How am I gonna do that here?
So this is exactly the comment I was hoping for. So, yes, he's already shown that he has no intentions of taking care of this. Again, it was a speeding ticket. He was going, like, again, 30 over. And the prosecutor even said, hey, if we want to put forth a plea deal, I'll even knock it down to like 20 over so it won't be as bad. Guy still didn't want to deal with it. So it's like, yeah, you can stay in jail. You can serve your, days of contempt. And then we can, have a jury trial after that. We can have a jury trial right in the middle. Whatever. It's fine. So I just think they just need to start holding people. I know I covered it or semi-covered it on my main page. I actually posted it, I think. What was it? Guy cut somebody up and ate them. And then they're like, yeah, you can totally bond out. Like, no, I would prefer that person not to be able to bond out. He seems to be a very large danger to society. You're trying to imagine what this guy, oh God. Yeah, this would kind of be like BSBT, Georgia Transparency, Glenn Serio, Chris Ryder trying to flee, where it just turns out to be like waddling semi-quickly like a duck in the other direction. All right. So this is the thing about the fee schedule. It's so ridiculous. So if in my head, if somebody got a lawsuit and their fee schedule was like 10 minutes equals $1, blah, blah, blah. I honestly think some people would actually just pay that rather than fight it. Like, I'll give you $2 because I spent 20 minutes of your time at a traffic stop just for you to leave me the fuck alone. But it's like, I made the short about it or made a video, Eric Martin. It's like $200,000 for harassing him, aka pulling him over. Eric Martin, you're not going to get $200,000 from anyone for any reason. Oh yeah, he could just roll down the hill. He always has the high ground, so he has a quick getaway, just rolls down the hill. All right, so one last thing before we go, because I feel the need. Go subscribe to my other channel, KFARR's Reading the Room. We seem to be having a little bit more luck with views now that I'm not buried in the Reading the Room algorithm. We're buried in the KFARR algorithm. Yeah, so far there's 3 channels with KFARR in it, and they're doing well. It's good. Go subscribe over there. The link will probably be somewhere in the description, comments, chat, whatever. Go subscribe over there. Or just search KFARR's Reading the Room. I will literally pop up first. But that's it. Ed, I actually was thinking about that. He looked like Kingpin to me. Let me actually, before you guys go, let me see if I can send you anywhere. Let me see if there's any court or sovereign citizen adjacent videos or creators going on right now. I don't think you guys want to watch any of that. If you guys aren't subscribed to San Diego Webcam, which they just put a bunch of webcams everywhere in San Diego to monitor the ocean, go subscribe to that. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. And nothing that you guys want to watch. So that's where we're... Oh, actually, you know what? I'll send you guys over to Mark. There you go. Mark's live. Go watch him. Good times. All right. That's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Unless something crazy happens today, I might hop back on. But more than likely, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.